Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and we're back on the ModRax stuff today. Our last video with ModRax was for the K-Truck here, this awesome body. It gets tons of looks when we take it out. We took it last Monday to our local little crawl compound. It's called the Front Range Crawler Compound. They do Micro Mondays, and even though it's on the stock chassis, it still kind of hit some lines, kind of fun. Stock wheels, tires. I mean, there's only so much to be expected, but everybody loved the way it looked. Everybody. So that's pretty awesome. But I wanted to take a look at the ModRax shocks and 1.8 aluminum super wheels. So let's go ahead and open these up. It's like a disc for putting on your tires to get them to cut them. Is that what that is? That's pretty awesome if so. Some ModRax stickers. Oh, instructions, which means it probably is a template for marking your tires. Sure is. So it's got compatibility with 1.0, 1.2, 1.3 inch tires with an outer diameter greater than 60 millimeters. And then they provide you a little template here so that you can cut your tires to the correct shape. Frickin' awesome. Let's see. Cut the tire to an inner diameter of 37 millimeters to avoid irreparable damage. So very cool. So we're going to go ahead and mount these up on some tires. I don't know what tires yet. I'm not sure. I don't even know what truck we're going to put these on yet. But I did want to get them out of the package so we could take a look and show you guys. Dig that. So the front and rear rings just mount symmetrically. Essentially, it's the same on the front and the rear. And it looks like it just gets nice and tight down on there. Wonder how that inner ring is. Let's get the screws out and open it up. All right, so I pulled all the screws out. They are a 1.5 millimeter hex head. There's our inner ring. So the faces actually screw straight into the inner ring here. You have your front face. And it's countersunk for the front face and on the rear here. So that's going to get a good pinch on your tire on the rear, but on the front, it's not quite as countersunk. It is a little bit below, just barely. I mean, not even a tenth of a millimeter probably, but hopefully that still kind of keeps the tire nice and tucked in there. Although I guess you could put the whole face on top of the tire, and then the wheel face and the ring are on top of the tire. I guess you could do that. If we push this screw through here real quick. And through here real quick. You could theoretically put the ring. Let's see, how do they show it? Do they say? Yeah, it looks like the whole face and outer ring. Place the outer ring and 5-point star onto the tire in sequence. So you are going to be pinching the tire in between your face and that outer ring. Gotcha. That makes sense. Another cool thing, though, is this hub is completely separate. And so you got this major offset here, right? And if you wanted to, you could flip the hub to the other side, and you could have some massive positive offset. Well, I guess, yeah, technically positive offset, negative offset, which is going to be positively offset from your axle. So you could, and it'd be super deep dish. So you flip this around and mount your hex on the back, and you would be sticking way out. It'd be wild looking, but you could do it. And you'd have some super deep dish wheels there. I wonder if they're going to make some smaller offset hexes here, so that way you could have it sticking out less far and still get that deep dish look. That'd be kind of cool. If you're listening, ModRax, we need different offset hubs here. Even if you're using them standard, right, with it mounted on the inside, you may still want some shorter hubs to kind of suck your wheel in. I don't know. We'll see. It's cool that that's there. I like that they're very modular here. I like that they include this template. Ooh, yeah, it's right on it. So right to where the screws are. Your tire should basically be just barely touching the screws. So you're going to want to be fairly accurate with that. And yeah, we'll get some tires mounted up, and I'll let you know if we run into any issues. Do make sure that you Loctite your faces and definitely your hubs. You know, the faces maybe not so much because you can tighten it down onto the tire, and that kind of helps keep constant pressure. And over time, with the tire being pinched in there, you're going to start to have the wheel faces have less pressure on them, which means your bolts on the wheel face could become more loose. So I do like to Loctite them with just the tiniest bit of blue Loctite, or just always make sure you check them. But I do Loctite the hex hub here because those also will back out metal into metal, and you don't want to be losing nuts and bolts on the trail. All right, let me go ahead and find some tires to throw on this, and we'll be back. All right, we got these 1 inch. They are 64s by 24, kind of wide, but they are the Gecko Tires Grip Masters from Next Racing. So these are some 64 millimeter tires. They're pretty sticky, pretty grippy. They've got some foams in them. These foams are kind of thick. I have another set that has thinner foam, so I think there's 2 versions. One of these actually might be a prototype version. I can't remember, honestly. But yeah, so we're going to have to cut these foams down because they're a little too thick. Also, we're going to have to cut them for the wheel here, right? Because it's a much larger diameter. So we're going to use the template on both the tire and on the foam. And then again, we're going to cut our foams, make them more narrow. I do have one already mounted up. And you can see once it's mounted up, it kind of narrows it up, especially with the foam we have in there. And it's a little squishy, a little bit. But since it's 1.8, we don't need as much sidewall rigidity. And I do want to keep some of that nice conformity or squish. It's really cool how these actually line right up with the lugs on the tires. Look at that. How freaking cool is that? Like the beadlock lines up with the large lugs on the tire. Freaking awesome. It's like perfect. So I dig that a lot. Very cool. So let's go ahead and get these mounted up. I'll kind of show you how we're doing it. I'm going to leave the foam in there to start. And we're going to put our little template right in the middle. And you're going to want to pay attention kind of where it is, right? So it's like right in the center of a little bit over the center line of all the text. I'm just going to use a silver Sharpie here because it shows. I'm just going to go ahead and line it. Okay. And there we go. I'll do the other side here. Boom, like so. And I've got some Lexan scissors. We'll go ahead and start cutting at it. Also, actually, let's do the foam too. We can put our Sharpie away. So on our foam, go ahead and center that. Actually, I'm going to have to cut this foam in half first, or narrow it up. It's just way too thick, so we're going to narrow it up. So let me get that done, and I can mark the other side, and we'll start chopping. So we're all marked, we're narrowed up. Yes, they're super narrow. I'm kind of okay with that. Let's go ahead and get at the tire. So when I did the very first tire, I tried to stay on the inside, right? Because our line is thick, so I tried to cut on the inside of that line, which would be right where the template is. But I think it's actually better if you just go a little inside that. So kind of straddle, depending on how thick your line is, obviously you don't want to go too far out. It is better to cut more in, cut less than to cut more. If you go too far out when you're cutting, there's no fixing that, and you're going to ruin your tires. So you can always cut a little more off if you need to. Actually, I'm kind of going a little narrow here. We need to go a little further out, but doesn't have to be completely perfect. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of straddle that line, because the very first time I cut it right to the edge, I had too much material, and the material was poking through, coming out, and I didn't really like that. So kind of just looking for that. And all that, whatever you use to mark it, will be covered by the wheel, or by the beadlock. So don't stress too much. As long as you don't put a big, huge, thick line, you should be totally fine. Okay. So you can see there's a little ink on the parts I cut off because I kind of straddled the line just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get our foam here. This one you don't have to be accurate at really at all. Just kind of trim off some of that inside so that you've got room for your inner wheel ring. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Kind of showing you I'm a little sloppy just because, well, it's to show you don't need to be perfect with it. Don't be scared. You'll be fine. Again, just don't overcut it and you're good. I'm going to unbolt this. All right, we got our foams in there. Got our wheel ring. Drop it in. Get our tire popped out over that ring. And we're looking pretty good there. Make sure your foam is nice and distributed, not crunched up anywhere. You usually kind of feel that. Yeah, looking good. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just drop in a screw. Again, you're using the longer ones for your bead locks here. Actually, we can put just the tiniest bit of Loctite on there. And I like to put the screw on whatever side seems like it's pulling in the most. If you have one side that's kind of pulling in like that, put your screw there. This one looks pretty even. But we'll go ahead and drop a screw in here. And don't screw it all the way, just get it started. And then we're going to go through and we're going to work our way around without screwing it all the way in. Just getting those screws started. Push the tire out of the way. Don't pull it all the way out. Just pull it just enough to get the screw into the hole, and then let the tire sit on the screw. Again, not tightening the screws all the way down at all. Just getting them started. And now that we've got all 5 screws in and our tires lined up how we want, you just want to kind of make sure that it's sitting nice and flush and that there's no like piece sticking out like this, right? Or it's kind of like crinkled up a little or pushed too far in and kind of showing under through here. And then everything's nice and centered. Everything feels right. And we can now compress down onto our ring and start tightening these up kind of in a star pattern. So a little there, a little here, just kind of go around across and snug them. And I'm not even going all the way down here. I'm just kind of getting them until they feel snug and snugging it. And then do our last one here until it's snug. And then we're going to check and just make sure everything looks nice and conform, right? Like we have conformity. There's no bumps or lumps or pulled out parts or parts that look like they're further away because the bead's not set all the way. And if that's all good, then we can really start cranking down and getting it nice and tight. And again, don't over tighten because you could strip them out or break a bolt head off, and you don't want to do that. You also don't want to tighten it so much that the inner ring here, because there is a ledge here, you don't want that inner ring cutting your wheel or your tire, excuse me. If you squeeze too much, it could theoretically cut it. Now I'm putting them pretty tight and I haven't had it cut, but you won't know until it starts to unbead, which really is the fact that it cut it there, but we should be good. And then once we do this side, we'll do the back side and get all of our screws into our hub here. There's 2 screws already in there from factory, and we'll go ahead and add the rest and Loctite it all. One more little tip. You can always leave these looser as well, like completely loose, so that you can move things around a little bit while you do both sides. So you go ahead and mount up the back side as well. That way you can kind of adjust things on both sides and then you start to snug them down, do some adjustments, snug them down. But if you're pretty confident that the front is good, then you can just go ahead and tighten it down and do the back. But you don't have to tighten it all down. Again, it is sometimes easier to leave these all loose, front and back, while you kind of position your tire exactly where you want it before you start to really snug it down. Okay, and you can see on the back here, it's poking through quite a bit. So I'm going to make sure as I go around and put these screws in that I'm pulling this back just enough to get the screw so that it sits right on the tire, or the tire sits on the screw, and that'll kind of line it all up. If you notice that you've got some part that's like this is sitting really far out when it's sitting on your screw, then that means you didn't trim it concentrically, and you need to make sure you go back in there and make sure your trimming is around the template and it's an actual circle, not an oval or something. Bam, all mounted up, looking great. You can see it's a little bit poking out. I'm not too worried about that. Overall, they look fantastic. We're going to put them on this guy here. This is the Redcat FX-118. I forget the name of it, but it's like their most comped out version. And we need to do something about this receiver, get it lower. Maybe I'll turn on its side. I don't know, something to get this thing lower. But there it is mounted up on there. Pretty sick. Again, bigger than these stock tires. Nothing too crazy though, 64 millimeter. Looking a little more narrow, although maybe not. Maybe not, they're about the same. They just look narrow because they're bigger. But yeah, I think that's going to be great. Matches the blue and red perfect. Let's go. Let me get them mounted up on all 4s. Better than these, right? Psh, way better. And there we go. All mounted up. I did move that receiver kind of angled a little different. I wish it was just a tad shorter here. It would have been awesome if it lined up. It was kind of the best situation here. I tried a couple different directions and this seemed like the best. All the others were just kind of stuck up really high back here. So that works. We got our battery on there. Power this guy up real quick for you. Yeah. This guy is kind of based on the Hobby Plus platform. So these are Hobby Plus axles. They're very similar to the FCX 24s. Portal axles. And if you mounted your tires right, you won't have too much wobbling and whatnot, right? You can kind of see this one. This one's got a little bit of something going on. Maybe we didn't get it completely even there. It looks like it is kind of folding over a little more, so we might need to trim that off a little more. The screws are pushing it out, causing it to kind of fold. So that's where you get a little bit of that wobble look. But overall, looks dang good. Now I did have to put little spacers in the hex hub here because on the back we were banging right there on the portal, and you can see it's just like barely there. So, but we have clearance now. It's not like binding up or hitting or anything, but it was before. So now we've got that little bit of space. You might have to space out. Even with the 1/8, clearing our portals was kind of not an issue. Again, you just put a little spacer in there, you get a little bit wider hex hub. But yeah, overall, looking good. I like the colors match. How perfect is that, right? Like amazing. And the 1/8 is going to give us a lot of sidewall rigidity there, so that's awesome. But just be aware if you're running portals, whether it's the Hobby Plus stuff or the Feartex FX 118 or maybe even the Redcat because it's on portals and the FCX 24. Just be aware you might have to shim it out a little if you're going to be hitting at all on the portal. It just depends on the portal design. The fronts don't hit at all. I still shimmed them out just to have an equal wheelbase, but they had plenty of clearance. So yeah, buddy. All right, so I was going to do these shocks in the same video, but I figure why, let's go ahead and get a separate video for this. That way, if you're not interested in the shocks, you don't have to watch it. And if they weren't interested in the wheels, they don't have to watch about the wheels. They can just check out the shock video. So if you guys are interested in the ModRax shocks, I think we're going to try to get these guys onto this guy here. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. But these are like 50mm shocks, and we'll do a video on those. We'll open them up. They're internal springs. A bunch of cool stuff going on there. They say they're for the AX24, but I don't know if I have an AX24 to put them on. Again, we'll look. We have so many trucks over here. I got to figure out which one these would be best on, but we'll show it. So if you want to see those, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, and notification bell. That'll let you know when the video goes live. It should be coming up right after this one if you're already watching this video. We'll also put a link down in the description below, also to the body, the ModRax body that we did, and these shocks. And then in those videos, we'll put links to these videos. Anyway, huge thanks and huge support from all of our channel members here. I appreciate you guys so much. We wouldn't be doing this channel without the channel members' support. So huge shout out to them. Channel members get to see videos early without ads before anybody else. They also get priority comment replies, sometimes behind the scenes videos. I kind of do monthly updates and just kind of, they're raw videos, just kind of showing stuff that we are going to be working on or that we are working on that we don't have a full video on. Just stuff like that. And it helps support the channel more than I can say. I appreciate it so much. Now, I do understand if you can't be a channel member, but supporting the channel is still easy. Again, you can just click that subscribe button, maybe that share button, comment down below, all sorts of things to help support the channel. And that's free. It's just a click for you. It takes no real effort to show your support and really help us with the algorithms, especially the shares into your local or smaller communities, big communities, whatever, your Facebooks, your Reddits, all those different places. If you see a video that you think people need to see or that a buddy wants to see, definitely hit that share and share the video with them. All right, guys, thanks again for all the support. I love to bring you guys stuff like this, show you how it works out in the end, how they look, how to install them, tips and tricks, all kinds of stuff like that. Review videos for RTRs and new products that come out. Love to show it all to you guys. There's so much stuff out there. It's hard to keep up, but I do my best and I try to show what I can. All right, guys, thanks again. I hope you guys get out there and build something awesome. Build a car, build a course, build a community, and then smash it, crash it, and bash it, but don't break the expensive parts. Peace.